What is up, Steelers Nation? Thank you so much for jumping on to another episode of the AST Call-In Show. I'm Noah Schrackbein. Find us on youtube.com/All Steelers Talk. Check us out anywhere you get your podcast. The Pittsburgh Steelers got some disappointing tight end news last night as Donald Parham is out for the season with the torn Achilles. That means that the Jonnu Smith rumors and all the reports floating around of whether he is or is not a person of interest for the Pittsburgh Steelers seem to add up. But is it enough to say the Pittsburgh Steelers really are interested and they are going to make a move for him? Meanwhile, Gabe Davis is in town for a visit. Aaron Rodgers still isn't in town for anything, and those questions remain. We're diving into all of your calls. Shout out to our members. Shout out to everyone who called into the AST Call-In Show. Appreciate you guys as always. If you want to become a member, you can do so by clicking the link in the description below. With that said, I won't take up any more of your time. Let's get into it.
Noah, good morning. How you doing, bud? It's Artisanal Bully Kennel. I just want to start the morning with a proposition, utilizing an unpopular decision here. You know me, I'm a gambling man. All right, so let's start it off. I think that Mr. Black is going to have better stats at the end of the regular season than Mr. Harmon. And I know you disagree, so here we go. If I'm right, then you got to post the Steelers music video of my dog at the beginning of one of your videos before the playoffs begin.
Ooh.
If I lose, I got to drop off a baked ziti for you and your lady.
Oh.
I think you might like that. Let me know what your thoughts are. I think it's a win-win here. All right? Love you the show.
That was what a way to kick off the morning. Not only with an incredible call, but with some gambling. And I'm all about it. You know me. Two things that I don't think I'll ever be able to pass up. Gambling in the right situation. And I can't give, nor will I, say you should always take my gambling advice. And two, some free baked ziti. I'm all in. I'll say this. Derek Harmon, to me, is a guy who is just going to get more opportunity. That is, above all else, why I believe he finishes with a better season than Y.A. Black. And don't get me wrong, I think Black's going to be fantastic. I have massive hopes and expectations for him. And to be honest, I think he is pretty close to near the starting nose tackle job by the end of the season, with Keanu Benton really taking a larger role at the defensive tackle position with Derek Harmon. That's how I envision this happening, and I think that gives plenty of opportunity. But Derek Harmon is going to start, and he's going to be that guy where teams are looking at it going, yeah, Derek Harmon is good, but you want to know who's even better? Cam Hayward. So who are we going to not run towards? Cam Hayward. And obviously TJ Watt's there, but what about the times where TJ and Cam are on the same side? Because that's going to happen this year. I just think opportunity-wise, Derek Harmon is going to have so much more of it that if he doesn't have a better season, that's a letdown for the Derek Harmon fans and for those hoping that he turns into something magnificent pretty quickly. I mean, I have the hopes and the expectations that he is going to. Can't guarantee anything, obviously, but he sure looks like a guy who's going to take advantage of those opportunities early, who's ready for the NFL right in year one. Black does as well. I just don't think he's going to get the reps to keep up. I would not say anything. Look, you give me a 6'5", 350 nose tackle from Iowa, who's the most polite human being, but you already know will kill you if need be. I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan. If the Steelers somehow end up with a true natural, really good nose tackle and a potential fullback in DJ Thomas Jones this season, I'm hooked. I'm in. I'm all in. I'm super pumped. That being said, I just think Harmon's going to out-rep him so much that it's going to be hard for Black to keep up. But I'm in. I'm in for sure. I think I still kind of want to see the music video. So you email that to me, please. And if not, I'll be expecting that baked ziti, my friend. I will be expecting that baked ziti.
Hey, Noah. Tony here. Haven't been able to call in because I got a new job. got a couple of comments.
Congrats, my
So
friend.
I've been a Steelers fan since the 70s. Grew up, with the dynasty,
Yes, sir.
Lambert, Ham, and all them. And I've never, even through the 80s, I've never seen this team buy a one-year quarterback. From the front office, from the owner, down to the coaches, they say they're drafting Steelers. This guy's a Steeler. This guy's a Steeler. This guy's a Steeler.
Yeah.
But yet you're going out and getting a quarterback that isn't a Steeler, will never be a Steeler, doesn't
True.
want to be a Steeler, because if he did, he wouldn't disrespect the team the way he does.
Okay. I'm here.
Okay.
I hear you. I'm
And
following
then
so
the
far.
best part about it is, all the experts even say the best he's going to do, he's not going to get you to the Super Bowl. The best he's going to do is get you to win a playoff game, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing that's really the kicker to me.
I'm listening.
He gets you to the playoffs, you win a playoff game. Your big plan is to get a franchise quarterback next year.
Mm-hmm.
This year you made the playoffs. You didn't get a win, but you're picking at like 22 or 21.
Yeah.
So if he does get you there and you win next year, you're going to be picking at 25, at least. Maybe even more.
Yeah.
Do you know how much capital you would have to give up to go from 25 down to 10?
Maybe not as much as you
And I
think,
guarantee
actually.
you none of these quarterbacks are going to be there at 10, because
That one might be true.
5 teams at least that I can think of off the top of my head is going to need a quarterback next year. The Browns, the Saints, the Giants, the Jets, it goes on. So they can't get into the top 10. What is the plan? And to tell you the truth, this is the first time in my life I can honestly say, if Aaron Rodgers is my quarterback, I don't want to watch the Steelers next year. I don't want to watch football. I'll wait till the year after when he's gone.
There it is.
Let me know what you're thinking. Sorry about the rant. Thanks for listening. Great show, Noah. Bye.
Appreciate it, Tony. Thank you. Look, I think it'll be easier than people anticipate when it comes to the Steelers going from 20 to 25 into the top 10. The Chiefs did it and got to 10. I don't know how much higher than 10 you actually have to go before you'll get somebody. And in next year's draft class, like, that's the thing, is it's comfortable enough where it looks deep enough where you can go get your guy at 7. And to be honest, the Steelers aren't going to try to go up to 1. I mean, maybe they'll make some phone calls, obviously, but they're realistically looking at 5 through 10, somewhere in that ballpark. And if they make the playoffs at 21, I think you could have got there. It's going to take draft capital, but you got to be willing to give up this year's first, next year's first, and a little bit of mix and match everywhere else. And for a franchise quarterback, for a real shot at one, you have to do that. I don't think tanking is the answer. Nobody in Pittsburgh, and I don't think you think tanking is necessarily the answer, but you have to stay competitive if you're Pittsburgh. You have to. It keeps you attractive for free agents. It keeps guys like TJ Watt and Cam Hayward here so that you have the foundation to build and bring in a franchise quarterback. That's what you're looking to keep consistent right now, is keep the team at a place where they feel they are only that piece away. And once you get that piece, it's like, okay, here we go. We're going to see what we can do now. I don't think it'll be super, super difficult. That being said, the Aaron Rodgers side of this is so true. Like, I don't know many people, and there are them out there, and I can't disagree with them, but I also can't disagree with those who say they don't want Rodgers here, because Rodgers clearly doesn't want to be here. And that's the thing about Pittsburgh. They don't do that. The fans, the city, the team, it doesn't do that. It doesn't deal with so much attention outside. And it's going to be a culture shock for both sides when this happens, and when Aaron Rodgers shows up, and the Pittsburgh Steelers have to deal with that, and the fan base has to deal with that, and Aaron Rodgers has to deal with the reaction from everybody else, because it's not going to be Green Bay where he's viewed as a god, or New York where he's there to be the savior. He's coming into Pittsburgh hot. He's coming into Pittsburgh where people are already on edge about this entire situation. They don't feel great about it. Even people who are optimistic and will say he's their best shot will tell you that they don't really know what you're getting. I think it's going to be it's going to be very interesting to see if it happens. I still expect it to happen, but it's going to be interesting. You're not wrong on the Aaron Rodgers rant. I know you got more to say though.
Hey, no, it's Tony again. Sorry.
Once again,
I got
we're
on
back.
that rant and I forgot to say what I wanted to tell you about. I really like Caleb. I love the draft this year. I love Caleb Johnson. My only question is, even when we had the bus, we had like Amos Zaraway or Willie Parker. With him, we don't have a back that can, break away,
Ooh.
that home run hitter. I love Johnson's, one cut gone, but he gets chased down from the back because he doesn't have that top end speed. Do you think they'll get a guy with top end speed, or do we have a guy that has that breakaway speed? Let me know what you think. Talk to you later. Bye.
All right, Tony, I appreciate it. And they do. His name's Jaylen Warren. Jaylen Warren's a guy that has break. I mean, he's shown it. He's got, it feels like every year he's got a 60-plus yard preseason run where everybody just gets a little look of like, oh, okay, there it is. Jaylen Warren's a stud. And then he doesn't get as many opportunities during the regular season. This year is going to be different. Jaylen's going to be the guy. He's going to be if a running back stays out there for a full series, it'll be Jaylen type of guy. I mean, he's got that top end breakaway speed. Jaylen Warren's a stud. Like, if Jaylen Warren is 2 inches taller, we don't collectively, as a whole, nobody's sitting around questioning if this dude can be a running back one. But he's a little shorter, and obviously that comes with some concern. And the NFL has a track record of what that leads to and how you are playing a game a little bit. But I'm going to be honest, like, to me, Jaylen Warren, if he could stay healthy, is fully capable of being an every down runner. Now, having Caleb Johnson and Kenneth Gainwell, who I am not ruling out of the equation. I think Kenneth Gainwell is going to be a super valuable piece to the Pittsburgh Steelers offense. But Kenneth Gainwell, Caleb Johnson, Jaylen Warren, I could see a, 40-20-20 split some games where you're looking at it, or a 40-30-30 split where you're looking at it going, everybody's touching the rock pretty equally. And that leads to a lot of good things. I think Jaylen Warren's got the top end speed. Kenneth Gainwell is super fast as well. I think Jaylen in a breakaway situation might have him beat. Caleb Johnson, I mean, go look at his tape. He's got a couple of those. He averaged 6 yards a carry and looked like an absolute animal at Iowa. So I think Caleb's got it, but Jaylen removes that worry because he is a breakaway guy.
I know, it's Maddie. Just want to ask, what do you think is going to happen if Aaron Rodgers doesn't sign? Do we bring in another vet? Do we let Mason take the reins? Do we let Will and Mason battle it out? What are your thoughts on that? My second question is, if Rodgers doesn't come, can we put a same deal in place again about like we had with the Jackson Dart, where I get my 15 minutes of fame? Thanks.
Shout out to Maddie. I still don't think you'd win the Will Howard one. That's such a bummer. What happens if? But I'm game. I'm game. If I'm betting on Big Zeddy, we're betting on Maddie's shot to get out here. Look I'm rooting for Will Howard. I am. I got to be realistic about the situation because I've just been the guy. I try not to be the guy that hypes up the wrong things, and sometimes I've been caught doing that, and I try a lot of times not to do it. So again, in this situation, I just got to be realistic about it, because if I'm realistic about it, I'd rather be wrong that Will Howard is great than talk a 6th round pick into being a franchise quarterback. And then everybody's like, this guy just talks up every quarterback. So with that said, game, we're in. I'm in. What happens if Aaron Rodgers doesn't sign? The Steelers look at Mason Rudolph as the guy, and then they bring in a Carson Wentz, or they trade for a Will Levis, or I don't even know who else would be out there. But Tyrod Taylor is a very interesting name to me because he's in New York. Justin Fields is going to be the starter. It just kind of feels like for the right price, Tyrod might be available. And Tyrod Taylor is a guy that every time he started throughout his career, he's looked pretty okay. And for a bridge quarterback, that's what the Steelers are looking at, is just what could not lose you games. I think that might be Tyrod Taylor. To me, Tyrod Taylor is an interesting name, but Will Levis is a realistic one. And Carson Wentz is the one that I think everybody tosses out there because it just makes too much sense. The Steelers need a quarterback, or at least quarterback competition for Mason Rudolph. That's what they're going to be looking for. Mason will be in pole position, and the Steelers will look at him as the guy, but it will have to be another veteran that's in there that's competing. It's not going to be Skylar Thompson, and it's not going to be Will Howard. Like, Will Howard right now is taking third-team reps. When a fourth guy shows up, he's going to be taking fourth-string reps, and I don't think that changes throughout most of training camp. I think by the end of training camp, he's taking third-string reps, but that's probably the only jump we see in Will Howard. So it will be somebody else. Again, my guess is Carson Wentz. That's the one I always go back to is he just is out there. He's got Super Bowl experience. He's got starting experience. The last time he was a starter, he actually finished with a winning record. It just, to me, makes a lot of sense to be Carson Wentz. All right, before we finish up here, I do got a quick word from our boys over at Factor. Summer is here. More sun, more light, more time to do all the things that make summer so special. And the number one thing you don't want to be doing all summer, spending hours cooking inside. That's where Factor comes in. Factor's chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals are ready in just 2 minutes, taking the hassle out of eating. Factor meals arrive fresh and ready to eat, perfect for any active lifestyle over summer and beyond. With 45 weekly menu options, you can pick gourmet meals that fit your summer gains and goals. Choose from options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, Keto, and more. Factor powers your day sun up to sun down with nutritious breakfasts, on-the-go lunches, premium dinners, and guilt-free snacks and desserts. Factor has your day covered. Enjoy more this summer. Get Factor if you want all the flavor and none of the fuss. I continue to use Factor. This week, it is the desserts and the juices on the go because I'm in and out of OTAs. And look, it keeps me healthy because at the end of the day, I'd be eating cookies and Pop-Tarts and none of the good stuff that anybody should be eating. Get started at factormeals.com/allsteelerstalk50 off and use code allsteelerstalk50 off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That's code allsteelerstalk50 off at factormeals.com/allsteelerstalk50 off for 50% off plus free shipping. Factormeals.com/allsteelerstalk50 off. All right, let's finish it up with this one.
What up, Noah?
What up?
Hey, man, I'm going to go on a little rant here for a second if you could bear with me. Man, my granddad, he worked in a coal mine. My pops, he works at a gas plant. Me, I work in the oil field. And, you have a long day at work, come home afterwards, take a shower, crack open a beer, turn on the game. What do you see? Ryan Clark giving someone PT on the field. James Harrison doing the same. Man, I miss those days, man. Those are although I think KZ had a hit like that on Pittman a while back. Man, yeah. Shout out KZ. And, shout out Pittman, too. Michael Pittman, yes, if you're listening, man, you look so much better in the black and gold. Come to our side.
Yes, sir.
Anyways, you know what all these people had in common, man? Hard workers. And there's an elephant in the room that's not being a hard worker right now. I know it's early, but it's Rodgers, man. Like, I don't understand how hard it is for you to sign a contract and stand around at OTAs. Yep. Like, are you really that lazy? I don't get it. I don't. And if he wanted to do that, man, he should join America's team. But the one thing I know is this ain't America's team. This is Pittsburgh Steelers, where the hardworking people come. So, if Mr. Rodgers wants to eat bark and chase berries, that's cool. Do that in California. We don't need you on our side. I appreciate it. Signing out. Later, Noah.
Shout out, dude. Shout out. I feel that. You get home, you want a good football game. You want to feel proud of your team. You want to feel like your team is fighting for you because that's what they're doing. the Steelers fully understand what this fan base is and who they are playing for and how everybody is connected one way or another. And right now, the Steelers are pretty connected. And you look at Mason Rudolph or Will Howard or Skylar Thompson even as a starting quarterback, and you just go, you know what, dude? That's my quarterback right now. It's my quarterback. But right now, whenever somebody says the Steelers quarterback is going to be Aaron Rodgers, it comes with a little bit of like, okay, in the fan base. I'm not saying the players feel that way, although I'm sure some of them do. And I'm not saying that I feel that way. I'm saying the fan base as a whole, the important people are sitting there going, like, yeah, I guess he's going to be like, I guess that gives us the best shot. That stinks. That's not fun. And that's where Rodgers is in this situation where, again, this is how simple this is. It's all about steps. It's all about how people are going to perceive things. What is the outlook you're giving to everybody else? If Rodgers signed with the Steelers in March, there would be no conversation about anything. He is doing podcast appearances and not at OTAs. Yeah, it's a bummer, but like neither is Cam Hayward. You know what I'm saying? Neither is DK Metcalf. Darius Slay showed up for a day. Like nobody cares. It's organized team activities. These people are over the age of 30. Aaron Rodgers is 41 years old. He does not need this. This is doing nothing. Oh yeah, getting connected with his players. Who? DK Metcalf? Well, he's not here, so he can't get connected to him. There's just there's no headline to grab onto. Obviously, some people will, but I think overall, it's just, you can wait till minicamp. Okay, great. If he shows up at minicamp, no issues whatsoever. Instead, and I get it, he's been dealing with stuff, and his personal life is different from his work life, and he's adjusting. I understand it all. I do. And I don't. I understand that it's got to be really, really crappy right now, you know, and I get it. And thoughts and prayers to him and his family. But I get that, you know, football is a lot. You got to commit yourself to a lot, and he might not be ready to do that. Awesome. If you make 0 public appearances in that little gap, nobody talks about it. It fades to nothing, because it did fade to nothing until Aaron Rodgers popped up on a podcast and revealed a little bit more. And then when he popped up on another podcast, this one live, and got asked and hinted at the Pittsburgh Steelers. And people are sitting there going, all right, cool. But that's not enough, Aaron. Like we're not that excited. We're not sitting here going, and this, you know, this is just everything that everybody continues to say is that when it comes to Aaron Rodgers, like, yeah, you get it, but like, it's a little bit bummy. And I hear you. How the fans respond. And if he signs, look at this. If he signs by minicamp, there's such a gap in between that people just don't care anymore. By the end of July, when the Steelers come back and begin training camp, there's some excitement at that point for Aaron Rodgers. If he signs July 23rd, then okay. I'm very interested to see what the reaction is from the fan base at Latrobe. But he's got like 4 more days to keep this thing to a place where by the time the real football begins again, everything is calm and he's a welcomed member to the roster. If it's any other time deeper into the summer, I don't know how the overall response would be. Obviously, there'd be some good, some bad, but the overall response, I'm iffy on. I hear you. Great question. Appreciate everybody who called in to this week's AST call-in show. Shout out to you guys. If you aren't a member yet and want to become a member, you can do so by clicking the link in the description below. Maybe by the time this goes out, Aaron Rodgers does sign, or Jonnu Smith's in Pittsburgh. Who knows? But we'll talk about it more. Join us on the flagship show later today. And as always, subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/All Steelers Talk. Check us out. Hit that 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Please, please, please. The goal is to be top 10 by the end of the year. That takes all of you guys, and I can't thank you guys enough. And find all my work at si.com/NFL/Steelers. With that said, I'll be back later. Shout out to everybody who called in today. Fantastic. And let me tell you this, Artisanal Bully Kennel, I am already craving the baked ziti. So game on, my friend. Game on. Enjoy another beautiful day in the Berg. Peace.